What is up, guys? Welcome to a brand new video. The first thing, very quickly, you can probably tell my voice. I lost it yesterday, completely gone. Today it's a little bit better. It's still a bit strange, but I took yesterday off and didn't do anything, basically just rested it. And I'm already like, I love making videos. I already want to get back, so I really just didn't want to take 2 days off. So we're going to do a video today. I'm sorry it's a bit weird, but today we actually are going to be looking at the REK'SAI rework changes. They've announced what they're going to be. Some of them are pretty cool. Her ultimate is completely changing. Nobody's really talked about this yet. It's one of the things that I track. You can see this is by Medler on the screen up here. And I don't think you can see my mouse actually, but it's by Medler. He's one of the lead gameplay developers. If you hover over it, actually says lead gameplay designer, sorry. So he's basically in charge of all the changes. Everything has to go through him. And he does these little gameplay thoughts. But the biggest thing this time is that REK'SAI's rework has been properly announced. So there are a bunch of changes. We're actually going to work our way down, but the first thing I want to talk about is her new ultimate. So the ultimate is completely different. Well, basically it is really different anyway. So it's like kind of like a Nocturne actually, but combined with her old ultimate at the same time. So she's going to mark a target as prey when she damages them. So if you think about it, when she's burrowed, for example, the way I think this is going to work, she's burrowed down, she uses her Q, she's going to mark the target as prey, and then she can actually dash to that target up to 1500 units away, which is absolutely, like, that is a mile away, for example. Deals a ton of damage, plus 1.4% bonus AD. That's 140%. One of the biggest things with this rework is they're really trying to make you build AD on her, so she's actually going to be like a damage kind of carry fighter rather than just an engaged stun bot, I guess that makes sense. Plus, all of that damage that she's already going to do, she then does up to 20 to 30% missing health damage, so it's kind of like an execute, if that makes sense, and it's got a little bit of a channel, kind of like her ultimate at the moment. So that is the biggest change with her. It's kind of like the Nocturne ultimate basically, but she has to mark them first of all, and she does a butt ton of damage. But you can actually see from the rest of the kit here, like a higher bonus AD ratio and lower bases. So basically they're taking power away from tank REK'SAI, and they're giving power to a damage REK'SAI. So if you actually want to carry on REK'SAI now, you really need to build some damage. Like I think Hydra, for example, is still going to be core on her, but we're probably going to see other AD items like a Black Cleaver, for example, as well, because she has really high AD ratios. So the more AD you stack, the more damage you're going to do. So you can see like 0.4 from 0.2. So they've doubled the ratio on her Q. Her E is actually 0.7, but it has a base now instead of just like a flat amount of AD. The W is also getting a rework, so it's going to be knocking up a single target for 1 second rather than like everybody around for, I think it used to scale, yeah, it used to scale here like 0.5 to 1 second based off the distance from REK'SAI. I didn't even know that existed, honestly, but apparently that was a thing. It does slightly knock back other units around REK'SAI, but it's only going to be knocking one person up for 1 second. So it's like more of a single target focus, but this is kind of the whole point, honestly. She dives in, knocks someone up, and then bursts them down with all this damage that she's kind of built, really. The other biggest thing, actually, apart from her ultimate, is that her tunnel cooldown now drops massively with rank to 2 seconds. This is ridiculous. You can see it used to be 10 to 6, now it's 10 to 2. So really, in a fight, she can, every time she burrows, she's going to be able to use that thing. She can dive over, probably the travel time, if you think about it. Like, the way I'm thinking at the moment is the distance when she travels through the burrow, that's obviously going to count, I think, during the thing as well. So that's probably like a second moving, then she has to wait a second, and then she can use it again with the tunnel. So it's going to be pretty ridiculous, honestly. Like, in a team fight, she's going to be much more in and out, rather than just like, she'll probably dive in, knock somebody up, use her cooldowns, and then actually burrow and leave again. So she's going to be like almost like an assassin-y playstyle, actually, like in and out, but really frustrating to play against, I imagine, because of how much damage she can do. And definitely, like, if you think about it, one way I think she's going to be used a lot is she'll dive in, she'll use her like Q and her E, for example, do a massive amount of damage, then leave, and then she'll come back in with her ultimate, because obviously she's marked them as prey when she's done that initial damage. Then she'll tunnel out, she'll wait a little bit, kind of lure them into a false sense of security, and then pop back in with this Nocturne almost, and just like completely execute that person, which is ridiculous. So way more mobility, way more damage is kind of the centers, I guess, the focal points for this rework. And also Fury generates much faster, so this is going to be a passive. At the moment, her abilities are about 5 to 10, I believe, per attack, like the Fury generation, and now they're going to be 25. So this is a massive change. The kind of trade-off, though, actually, as well, it converts to health faster over 3 seconds, not over 5. So it's, again, like, you don't have to be burrowed for as long to get this back. The way it works is you convert all your fury when you're burrowed into health. So it will be over 5 seconds. You'd actually have to stay burrowed for 5 seconds to get everything, but now you're gonna have to be only burrowed for 3. So again, you like dive out, you heal using all that fury you've generated from the first little trade, and then you dive back in, right? Like I can't imagine this. Like loads of damage, loads of healing, and long range engage. That does not sound very fun. But yeah, so it does actually heal less, which is kind of like the trade-off, I guess. But remember that you're going to probably be using this more now. So for example, like here, you'd have to use this about twice, I guess, to equal the same as the last one, but you only have to be burrowed for 3 seconds. So you would be burrowed in entirety for 6 seconds versus the 5 now, and you'd heal slightly less. But obviously you're able to generate that fury faster, which means you can get to your full fury, then you can burrow and heal more. So actually, even though it's less, you're going to be able to use this more often, if that makes sense. Like it is definitely, as I say, the in and out pattern of REK'SAI. Really what we're looking at for this rework is she's going to do a lot of damage. She's probably going to clear very fast. She's going to be like almost like a Lee Sin kind of style champion, or a Kha'Zix, I think. That's really who you want to be focusing on for this rework now. Obviously, she used to be a tank, kind of an engage. Now she's going to be like Lee Sin, Kha'Zix. Kind of has that crowd control element a little bit, but is mainly focused around damage and building damage as well. So I'd expect, for example, she's going to build Warrior, probably like a Black Cleaver, maybe Hydra. Obviously, you're probably going to go tank because you're low income and jungler, but still, I think you're going to build way more damage because it just makes much more sense now with her kit. You kind of have to. That is her job, to kill stuff, not really to just engage, especially because she's only a single target engage now. So it's definitely not as good. But that is pretty much the REK'SAI rework. So ultimate, just to recap very quickly, let's go down actually from passive first. So passive is going to generate more fury. You're going to be able to heal more often, but for a bit less actually. Your W is going to knock up one target and knock aside people around, but won't knock them up at all. So it's just like a single target W now, a single target knock up. Your tunnel cooldown is massively down, so you're going to be able to use this in and out of fights much more, and probably actually show your skill in REK'SAI a lot more, I think, is a big part of that. But also then her E stay pretty much the same, just more damage, more bonus scaling, so you actually build damage. And finally, her ultimate is going to be, if she damages someone, marks them as prey, she can then launch herself at them from really far away, do a butt ton of damage, especially 140% bonus AD. You have no idea how ridiculous that is. Very few champions ever have over 100% because it gets actually stupid. Like, if she builds full damage, I'm pretty sure she can almost one-shot someone with that. It's actually ridiculous. Like, she has 300 AD, right? That's gonna... Oh, I'm not gonna do the math in my head, but that's like 400 damage easily. Plus the 400 base damage. That's not gonna be fun. Especially if she builds some like arm pen or something as well. It's gonna be pretty ridiculous. And the missing health damage as well. So, basically, that is the rework in a nutshell. Very quickly, there is a bit of a support item rework. I don't want to make this too long. They're going to be reducing the effect of Locket and Redemption a little bit. So you can read this. I'll put it in the description if you want to check it out. But basically what they're going to try and do is reduce the base stats on these two items and then make them scale better into the game. So they're not as good early game, if that makes sense. Like if you rush a Locket, you rush a Redemption, you're not rewarded as much. But they do like the kind of core identity of the champions. Oh my god, my voice started to go. So they're going to keep them the same, but make them scale a bit better, if that makes sense. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sorry about my voice. Hopefully it was okay. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to rest it now, and I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video.